Warning, major spoilers for the Walking Dead episode Self-Help. So how many people were shocked that Eugene wasn't a scientist and doesn't have the cure? Now, I've never read the comic books. Shame on me because I do love comic books. But even I suspected that Eugene doesn't have a cure. And I guess to learn that he's not even a scientist or anything like that wasn't a really big surprise. And it's interesting leading up to it, like all the things that he was doing to try and hinder. Once we learned he put the glass in the school bus, well, you kind of had to assume something was up. The real interesting storyline was Abraham and his backstory. They didn't delve into who those people were that Abraham killed, but according to actor Michael Kidless, it was all based on the comic books. And for those of us who didn't read the comics, he filled us in on the Talking Dead.
They were with the group that he was traveling with prior, and what happens in the comics, and what we were calling back to, was that Abraham goes on a mission to go get supplies and services, and comes back, and his family has been raped by the rest of the members in the group. Those men were people that were my neighbors.
I guess you have to understand that this was early in the apocalypse, and for his family to see that brutality, I understand why they left. However, knowing what we know about the apocalypse and having followed Rick's group for this long, my first thought when I realized that his family had left was, "Are you insane?" But again, that's because I have the knowledge of what happens when people go off on their own. His wife didn't have that knowledge. All she saw was a man she didn't know. He killed, 4 people? So I get it. How horrific to find your family like that. Technically, Eugene saved Abraham's life with his lie. He gave Abraham a purpose, a reason to live. Yet now that the truth is out, emotionally, Abraham is right back in that same place that he was when his family was killed. Is he going to survive? For that matter, is Eugene going to survive that horrific beating? I think that if Abraham had not been pulled off him, he would have killed him. My personal opinion, they're both going to survive. The story's going to go on. How's Eugene going to fit into the group now? Are they still going to go to Washington, D.C.? Everyone has done some horrific things. I think you could say that the horrific thing that Eugene did was what the lie was itself. I'm sure at some point in the apocalypse, everybody's lying to survive at some point. But the lie gave this hope. Hope that humanity could be restored. Now that hope is gone. I personally would like to see them turn around and go back and meet up with everybody else. As I said earlier, I haven't read the comic books. I don't know what's supposed to happen. But I'd rather see the whole entire group together. Personally, I think that's much safer. If I had to live in the apocalypse, I'd want to be in a big group. What do you think? How many of you out there have read the comics? Do you like the parallels? How many of you were totally shocked that Eugene was not who he said he was? Please comment below and let me know. I'd love to hear from you. You can also subscribe to keep up with the latest news and reviews from yours truly. This is Thoughts from a TV Geek. See you next time.